Kawhi went through, obviously a really unique experience together. What's it feel like to play against them?
No, obviously, it doesn't feel really good right now because we lost, but good to see them. Obviously, like Kawhi being through what he's been through, just seeing on the court, it just feels good. And I think just being back here is always special. And then Norm, obviously, like, being here for a long time with him, and that relationship is always going to be there. Like, winning a championship together, like those type of bonds, like, it's kind of like forever. And you stay in touch, talking to Norm and just making sure that everyone is okay, and sending texts there and there. So it's always good to see those guys.
Do you guys have any friendly banter back and forth leading up to the game?
I mean, not really. I think it was just like, yeah, let's just get it. I'm sure he always want to be out there when he comes here, play well and win for his team, and that's what every player does that kind of come through here. And I think for us also it was just like, man, like we wanted to go out and win that game also. So we're competitive, obviously, but it's all fun.
How comfortable right now do you feel with your level of conditioning? Because you talked a little bit during the injury how you were still getting your wind back a little bit. But generally this season, when you have, not during the injury, how well do you feel like your conditioning is in terms of end-of-game situations and not being too tired?
I think it's good. I mean, it's not where I want it to be, obviously, but it's good. It's good enough, I think. I try to just continue to work on my body every single day, making sure I do the right things, and again, I know that as the season picks up, like, I'm going to continue to get better. Like, that's kind of like my focus. I want to be able to trend up. Like, I don't want to like decline or anything. So that's my focus. Just continue to work, do the extra stuff behind the scenes to make sure that I'm 100%.
Fred was saying that, you're kind of a natural in that sense, that since he's known you, you've always had really good conditioning and endurance. Do you agree with that, or is that something?
I think it's fair. I think it's fair. And yeah, like I feel like I've always had that, and I just want to continue to just I feel like I'm pretty special in terms of that I can do a lot of things on the floor, and that comes with having being in great shape, and it's something that I try to work on.
You guys have really struggled defensively over the last month, and there's been a lot of talk about you guys just missing shots. But what do you think's been the issues at the other end for you guys?
I mean, I think again, obviously we miss some shots. But at the end of the day, it's basketball. You're gonna make some, you're gonna miss some. I think that we have stretches where we don't play very well, and it kind of shows. And I think we got to try to cut down those stretches as much as we can. And again, for me, like I said, I'm not really great at figuring out what, like, everything that we need as a team. Like, my job is to go out there and try my best every single night and play as hard as I can, and try my best to follow the game plan and be out there with my teammates and trying for us to do everything that we can to get out of whatever we're in. And yeah, like, I think it'd be easy for me to come here and be like, oh, this is what we need, or this is what we're not doing. It's like, at the end of the day, like, we just gotta figure it out. And I'm not really that type of person to go out there and figure out what we need as a team. Like, I think my job is hard enough.
Do you feel like you've ever played better than you are right now, personally?
I think that I'm continuing to evolve. Like, I think that, again, for me, which feels kind of weird, is because I know that there's more. Like, which for me, like, that's kind of like my feeling every single night. Like, I go back and I'm like, man, like, I wish I did this, or if I do this a little better, maybe it's this, So, like, and that's every game. So I want to continue to get better, and like I said, like, I want to continue to trend up, and I feel like I'm not at my best.
And on that note, you spent a lot of time watching Kawhi be the offensive leader. And it feels like you've built your game in kind of a similar way. Post touches, the mid-range, being rotating defensively and filling in the gaps. Does any part of you feel like you're kind of, since you left, filling the shoes
I've never looked at basketball that way. I think Kawhi is a great player. He's amazing at what he does, and the stuff that he's been able to do as a player, and for me, like, I watch basketball and I I look up, I look at other players and some of the things that they do well, and I try to implement it to my game. But I'm my own person, and I want to create my own path, my own journey, and I think it's really not fair to try to compare it. I just want to be the best that I can be, and continue to improve as a player, do everything that I can to help my team win, and to help put us in a position where we can be successful, and that's really the only thing I care about.
Pascal, not really a question related tonight, but Nick Nurse recently got his 200th win as a head coach. I was just wondering what he's meant to you as a head coach and what you've made of his growth from being an assistant to where he's now.
I think he's been great, and I think that for me, I remember like coming in his first year, like it was super exciting. Just assistant coach coming in, taking the job over, and I like the style, and he kind of allowed me to go out there and get rebounds, push it, like just that free flowing kind of basketball. That kind of made me who I am as a player, and he definitely allowed me to do that. So he obviously we know that he thinks outside of the box and the things that he's able to do, and obviously like that's a huge accomplishment, and we hope that we can get a couple more wins out there for him, but obviously we know it was a little rocky sometimes, but I just for me, like I think our level of communication has really evolved, and again he's continuing to get better as a coach, and but yeah, he's always been really helpful, and I think that he's going to continue to get better, like I said, and I want to do everything that I can to help him in that way, and I know that he feels the same for me.
Especially in that stretch where you guys lost 6-7 in a row, what did you find great about his approach and keeping you guys level?
Right. Yeah. No. I think his approach was really good, and I think that it was some hard talks and hard conversations, but also it wasn't just like a lot of negativity. So I think that I like that he for the most part he's keeping like that positive attitude, but also kind of pinpointing the things that we need to get better at and being stern about those things, and which I think that is a balance that's needed to be a really good coach, because you don't want to kind of like lose your players and want to figure out how to make us play better. But I think he's handled it decently, and I think it's hard to say, because I think just winning cures everything. That's kind of like what's going to tell us if we handle it well, for him as a coach or us as players, which I think that is all of us together.
There's a lot of stars in the league now that have kind of rest management, where they'll take off a night here or there, won't play back-to-back, stuff like that. You obviously have never done that in your career. Whenever you're healthy, you played every game. Why is that important for you to kind of just be out there every night?
It's like hooping. I like basketball. I just want to play. Like that's as simple as that. Like,
have they ever approached you about that or nothing like that?
No, not really. And I think that again, I'm sure that those players don't just go out there and be like, oh, I don't want to play. I mean, I'm sure there's reasons for it, and I mean, I pray that I don't have any reasons to sit out. That's kind of like my approach to it, and like I said, I like hooping, I like playing basketball, and every time I want to be out there, it's just, I mean, like, this is my safe place. Like, I want to be out there every single night and play basketball.
You talk about loving basketball and hooping, but how much time when you're not playing are you watching other games? Like, are you someone that's...
I think because there's sometimes I just want to get away from basketball. Like, I don't want to watch any games. Like, I think mostly when we're not doing well, like I'm not doing well, like I just don't want to see basketball on the TV. But for the most part, like it's hard to stay away from it. Just again, knowing players from all over and just seeing the game situations and things like that. Like, so I always just love like just watching games, and except just the moments where I just want to like kind of like keep it away from me.
Trust me, I wish I could be right there, holding your hand, and be like, Scottie, let's do this together. You good? Yeah. Okay. All right. The Clippers, they've had a pretty good season so far. What did you see tonight out there for them?
They're a really good team. I feel like they killed us on the offensive boards, allowed them to get a lot of opportunities to be able to score, get those second chance points to kick out threes, being able to get layups, getting to the free throw line off those offensive rebounds. But they got to. We just had to focus. We need to focus on game plan better. They got a lot of people that can really score the ball. So they're a good team.
What did you see out there for yourself? Because I feel like you're kind of getting some good looks for yourself. You're getting in rhythm. You're playing some good basketball despite the fact that you guys lost.
Say the question again.
What are you seeing out there for yourself in your game right now? I feel like you're getting in rhythm.
Just trying to help the team win, doing whatever I can to try to help the team win. No matter if it's trying to push the pace, rebound, trying to set screens, no matter what it is, I'm just trying to help the team win. So I feel like chasing winning, everything else comes with it.
And then finally, you guys have Memphis next. That's a tough team, and they've been playing some pretty good basketball out there. But how do you approach a team like them that has been having crazy good season?
We'll come back to practice tomorrow, work on our game plan. As long as we focus in on the details and execute, I feel like if we executed better this game with great teams like Memphis and the Clippers, it comes down to execution. So whoever executes better, plays harder, that's the team that usually comes out with the dub.
Malachi, with the sort of an increased role in these last 4 or 5 games, how are you feeling and how you think you're fitting into that new responsibility?
I feel good for sure. I mean, it's always nice to play. I think the biggest thing is trying to get wins, though. I think at the end of the day, we all trying to win, so all that other stuff kind of goes out the window. But I'm just in there trying to fit in around everybody else and do what I can, just be aggressive and then be solid on defensive end.
It strikes watching you that you're more aggressive with your shot than you had been maybe early in the year. Is that just more comfortableness sort of taking it or being open or what?
Yeah, just taking the looks that I get. I mean, my teammates trust me. They're throwing me the ball when I'm open, so I'm just letting it go now.
What's a lot of your time has come with Pascal as the sort of lead ball handler, or lead playmaker in the half court. What's it like to play off him compared to a more traditional, ball dominant guard, if it's Fred or anybody else you've played with?
I mean, it's good. I like it. I can do both. With P, they're going to double him a lot, so it's kind of being ready to spot up, be ready to catch and shoot, and he's going to be willing to make the open pass. So with him, I kind of know what's going to happen. So I like playing with P for sure.
Is it kind of a chicken and egg thing where you play with freedom and you get minutes, and then you play with freedom? Which way do you kind of lean on that?
Say that again. I don't even know what you said.
Is it that you're playing with freedom that's got you all these minutes, or is it getting these minutes that's given you that license to feel?
I think both. I mean, when you go out there, you don't want to think. You just got to play. You got to control what you can control. That's what I tell myself, and then everything will play out.
Clippers have been kind of a funny team this year. Well, hurt for a lot of it, and then they seem to be getting healthy now. Does it feel like they're a team that's just starting to turn the corner?
I mean, they're a good team for sure. You see the guys they got on the roster. They got different rosters night in and night out, so it might look a little different day to day. But I think everybody knows they got a good team.
Fred's been here talking about you, saying he's very proud of you, the way you've handled this last year and a half, a little bit not playing, then playing. Nick says the same thing. Other teammates use many of the same words. How does it make you feel?
It feels good. It's satisfying for sure. You see guys to want you to succeed, and I feel the same about them, so it feels good.
What do you feel is the biggest difference between your approach to games, to practices, whatever it may be, this season versus your rookie year?
I think just being prepared for whatever. I know in the summers I put in the work, so it's nothing to think about when you get out there. Just go play and just be prepared for whenever your name's called upon.
Okay, so despite the result, you still had a pretty efficient game. What did you see out there tonight?
We didn't win. Our goal is out there, try to get the job done, continue to build off what we've been doing. But, steadily but steady, continue to watch the film. You got to take it a game at a time. That's all you can do.
Well, you're playing in a rough stretch of, not a rough stretch, but a lot of high-quality teams in the league in this next coming couple games here. You got Memphis next, Phoenix after. How do games like these kind of prepare you or kind of tune you guys into what's coming up later in the season and later down the road?
Really just must wins, Take a possession at a time. When you're playing against these good teams, these well-off teams, it's possessions, breaking it down, who has the ball at the last minute, who's getting the 2-for-1s, who's getting certain stops, who's making certain plays. So, really just a testament to games we got to win. We got to go out and get. We consider ourselves an elite team. Everybody in this locker room thinks of themselves as an elite in a certain way and believing in their craft, so these are must-wins.
And then obviously, you faced Kawhi, you faced Norm. You weren't here obviously on the team when they won the championship, but do you still feel that energy that they have in this franchise?
Yeah, most definitely. You can see that. Those guys had a special bond with one another. Fran, Fleet, and Norm are still friends to this day. Everybody else that was on the team as well. So they have a special connection, a special bond. Great for their feelings. I don't know how to. Like you said, I'm outside looking in, so it looks great and healthy.
Thank you.
You really turn them over an awful lot or get a lot of offense off your defense. Is that just taking care of the ball a little bit too good for you guys tonight, or?
Yeah, I didn't think that we were just doing enough pressure-wise, Doug, and active hands and active feet enough. I think they kind of got it to where they were trying to get it to, and if they didn't, they just put their head down and drove on us, which we didn't, do a good enough job. And then we just, again, it's a little bit of, Zubac was just killing us down inside, for a lot of the game. We just couldn't handle the combination of the drives downhill versus his offensive rebounds or his lob threat.
And when Norm gets going like he did in that third quarter, it's really tough to guard him with a guy. He just could buy people, which is strength, right?
Yeah. He we've seen that a lot, right? He gets going downhill, and it's with his speed and athleticism, it's trouble. And he had it going. That's for sure. He was making a lot of really good plays, both shooting and passing, and just getting into the paint with some explosiveness.
Was Fred having trouble pregame, or is that something that popped up?
Not that I know of, Eric. I don't think so. I think it was something that popped up in the game. Yeah.
You've seen Malachi in the last 4 or 5 games sort of emerge as a consistent scoring threat. Are you getting enough on the defensive end as well from him, or is there more he can give you there?
Well, he's been pretty good, Doug, down there. I mean, they put him in some tough situations tonight a couple times, but nothing major. Yeah, he's been adequate and tough and feisty down there. Yeah.
Before the game, you mentioned Norm's ability to get efficient shots at the rim, efficient threes. Watching that in action, does it feel like, man, it'd be nice to have some of that for our guys?
Well, listen, they are a very good basketball team, and he's one of many very good players that they have, right? This is as deep a team as you're going to see in this league, right? And if you're going to, trade punches with them, we're going to have to make some of those threes that, again, were open that we didn't. We just couldn't keep pace with the 3 ball, and we couldn't keep them off the glass enough to really trade punches with us. I mean, they just outclassed us from I think both behind the line and on the backboards tonight.
What does it say about Pascal that on a night like this that not much is going right, that he just continues to fight until the end and finishes with 36?
I mean, he did a good job. He wasn't finding his spots nearly as easily, I think, for the most part of the first half and all that kind of stuff. He certainly did late when the game kind of opened up a little bit. I'm going to give him credit. I thought he played really hard at both ends, right? And he kept battling, and it wasn't easy out there for him tonight either. They had a lot of schemes for him, a lot of size, right, on him, and a lot of size at the rim, and he kept battling and finding a way, but not quite enough from some others, I guess.
There's been a lot of focus, obviously, on the way you guys have shot over the past few weeks, but your defense has dropped off a bunch during the stretch. What's been the biggest reason for that?
Probably that. I think the shots not going in are affecting our transition defense, and it's affecting our energy and fight a little bit.
Nick, did you have a chance to talk to Kawhi and Norm at all, and sort of what was that conversation like?
Did not. I just said hello to both of them and told Norm good job after the game. That was about it.
Thanks very much, everyone.
All right.